It's Tuesday, June 15th, and it just feels like a fireworks on the National Mall kind of day. I'm Tommy McFly.
I'm Kelly Collis, and we have some great news about DC as it continues to reopen and bring back all those awesome traditions.
Live from DC. Broadcasting around the Beltway and beyond, it's Tommy and Kelly made in DC on the Real Fun DC channel and on demand anytime, anywhere you get your podcasts.
It's also an eat chicken parm and pasta until you're ready to explode kind of day, but we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. What's going on, Kel?
I really do appreciate all the music venues around the DC area making announcements over the last couple days, because it's made our job easier, because there's a lot to unpack here as live concerts are definitely returning. First up, MGM at National Harbor. They have an incredible theater there. It's a small venue as far as theater concert venues go for. They have a list of announcements. So first up, Bruno Mars returns for 2-night engagement Friday and Saturday, August 6th and 7th.
Nice.
How incredible that is going to be. Also, The Price is Right is coming for like a little run over the weekend at the end of August. Boyz II Men, Counting Crows. It's going to be, they have a full lineup of comedians and music just going through the rest of the year. And it's just awesome to see a calendar with live events on it.
That's very cool. And Bruno Mars opened up that venue. So now he's like reopening up that venue.
Yes, he's like sort of an official spokesperson for MGM. So I think it's in his contract.
Yes, exactly.
He's coming back to DC.
That's awesome. And it's just so exciting to hear about that kind of stuff. And going to see a concert at MGM, like you can be sure that you're going to spend your money and get something. So that's great. Versus like if you put the ticket money on the roulette table, you might double it, but also you might not.
That's true.
Wolf Trap also announced yesterday that they have got their first full capacity shows they're announcing, which will be Indigo Girls, Train with Vertical Horizon, Pink Martini, Renee Fleming. And so they have a Yacht Rock review. So they've got a whole variety of artists and things coming, which is great. So those summer shows go on sale on Friday, the 18th, and they happen later on this year, like August and September. And it's also part of Wolf Trap's 50th anniversary season.
That's very cool. Grab your picnic basket and your wine. Tradition continues.
I love it. And we talked about yesterday the Capital One Music Hall, which is opening up in Capital One Center, right in Tyson's. They announced their opening weekend. They've come a long way from the Boondocks. Little Big Town is going to be their big opening weekend show on Saturday, October 2nd and October 3rd. This is cool because the venue is like 1,600 seats. It's state of the art. It's brand new. So that's going to be awesome.
That's very cool. I also do appreciate a good concert on a weekend night versus a weeknight, right? So we can really enjoy every last song and just be able to sleep in a little bit the next day.
Yeah, I went out over the weekend on U Street as part of like Pride celebrations, and not going out on weekends after 11 o'clock, probably ever again in my life, and I'll be good. Happy to go to like a nice concert. Starts at like 9.
Tommy, you're getting old. Come on, boy.
I know. Like even when I was young, I could never appreciate the like, we don't go out till 11 p.m. crowd. No, we should go out at 9 and see where the night takes us.
Wow, you are opinion. You are 35. Okay. All right, we got some big news coming out of Nats Park. First off, we got a win last night, which, by the way, these days we'll take it. But we had
the Giants, right? Too. The Giants are good.
No, not against the Giants. It was against the Pirates.
Didn't we beat the Giants too recently?
Yes, that was last weekend, but that brings me to last weekend. Bill Nye, the science guy, was hanging out in Nats Park. He had a ticket to the game, but also everyone got to hear his voice as he did the opening lineup.
Love that guy.
And I was thinking about him of why, because we saw him during the All-Star game. We've seen him at other Nats games. He is born and raised in D.C. He actually is a class of, he graduated from Sidwell School in DC, and the class was 1973, by the way, just to date him a little bit. He'd be old.
83, 93, 2003. 13.
Just do 18 plus 50. Yeah. We'll kind of get you there. And also tonight at Nats Park. Jose Andres returns to throw out the ceremonial pitch, and he's going to do it along with Nate Mook, who is the CEO of World Central Kitchen.
Awesome.
And it's World Central's Kitchen Day, where they're going to be celebrating and doing a whole bunch of festivities around what they've done, not only all around the world, but here in DC, when Nats Park was, basically a kitchen for several months locally here, feeding people in need.
It was really cool to see like the volunteers at World Central Kitchen when it was at Nats Park who were posting on their own social. And like World Central Kitchen has done great work all around the world, but I've never like personally known volunteers. And so seeing the volunteer perspective of people who live in DC who are posting stuff on Instagram, like seeing how it all works inside and everything was really neat. In the midst of such a terrible time, the DC community came together and getting to like that firsthand look, because it was people you knew, like neighbors who were helping out.
Yeah. I mean, thousands of volunteers. It was a big operation. So that's very cool.
I gotta believe working with Jose Andres just in general is like a lot. Like there's a lot going on.
He's intense.
Right. Imagine being like Nate Mook and then having to go pitch alongside of Jose Andres. Like, do you throw a heater? Are you better than him? Are you not better than him? Like, what? I mean, I don't think Jose is like a competitive guy and like, oh, you're better than me. But like, you've also got 10,000, 12,000 people who are watching you pitch alongside Jose. There's a lot. I feel the stress. I feel like that would be a very stressful moment.
I think they've been through more. They've seen a lot. Like landing planes in the areas that have just been devastated and trying to cook food and give it out to thousands of people in need. I think they got this.
Well, when you put it that way, you are absolutely right.
Also, another local DC celebrity is returning to the Olympics. Not that we ever doubted her. Katie Ledecky secured her spot in yesterday for a Olympic trials. In typical Katie Ledecky fashion, she basically got out, dried off, jumped back in the pool before anyone else had to come to the finish line. So that's awesome to see her back. There's a bunch of trials going on in Omaha, and on Sunday, because she was up there to get ready for the trials, it was also Stanford's graduation, which she is now an alum from. So she took a photo. It's on her Facebook page of her in her bathing suit, and then she's got a cap and gown on in front of the pool, as it should be. Katie Ledecky, well done.
I'm glad she graduated college. It's about time she gets a job. What's she been doing this whole time?
Could you believe you're in the Olympics and you've graduated from Stanford? Well done, Katie.
Yeah. And when she does get a job, imagine that HR manager who gets her resume and is like, oh, experience. Huh. Well, can you tell me more about this?
I know. It's incredible. But also we're learning that there's another local swimmer that's going to the Olympics. Her name is Tori Husk. She's 18 years old. She's from Arlington. She's a graduate of Yorktown High, and she will be heading off to the Olympics. And she's in Omaha right now too.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Way to go, Yorktown. Yorktown is an amazing school.
Yeah. And the Arlington Aquatic Club is known for having some of these top swimmers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is really cool to see that, because Katie Ledecky hails from Bethesda, and they have a very competitive swim club as well. So it's interesting that these two over the river clubs are, going to the Olympics.
Great things happen inside the Beltway.
That's true. They are just inside the Beltway.
DC is getting its very own Statue of Liberty. You think this is kind of weird. I think this is super cool. So in Washingtonian today, they were saying that starting next month, pedestrians who are walking through Calorama will get a view of a 9-foot Statue of Liberty. And it's made from the same cast, and it's made from the same stuff that the original Statue of Liberty was made from. It's going to be at the French ambassador's residence. Of course, the French gave us the big Statue of Liberty as a gift. And this is sort of a way to reaffirm the U.S. and France's relationship. But it's going to be here for 10 years. It will get... The Washingtonian says that the Statue of Liberty that's 9 feet tall is on a boat on its way over on a cargo ship now. And it's going to be displayed on Ellis Island next, kind of like mini-me situation.
So weird.
From July 1 through 5. And then it's going to come down to the French ambassador's residence, which you could walk past and see it.
Yeah, I understand the symbolic nature of this gesture. Mm-hmm. I just don't understand, to go to Ellis Island and see the Statue of Liberty in New York is amazing. Just like when you walk down the National Mall and you look at the Capitol building and the Washington Monument, like a little mini one, sounds like just, I don't know. It's just a little weird for me.
It's kind of the same as, watching In the Heights on the big screen or on your home TV. Same piece of art, just scale is a little different and a little different experience. So,
yeah, I guess so.
Apparently, so it'll land and it'll end up in DC on July 14th, the time for Bastille Day. But there's apparently, I think 12 of these casts that are made from the original plaster mold from back in the 1800s, from the original artist, the sculptor who made it.
Well done to the French that kept that in the storage room.
Right. Exactly. It was back next to the extra stuff for a while. They're like, hey, we should roll one of these out. So I part of my honeymoon, we went to Paris. Did you see this when you went to Paris, Kelly? There's another version of the Statue of Liberty that's by a church.
No, I really didn't do a lot of sightseeing in Paris.
Oh, we did a day trip with a person. Yeah, we did that too. But we got our baguettes and we got in the back of the car and we went and did the tour. But in just understatedly, in the backyard of one of these churches in Paris, there's one of the iterations of the Statue of Liberty that was as they were perfecting it, and now it's back. It's 20 feet tall, but it's back. It's there too. It's really cool to see it.
That's cool. So you got the 9 foot tall, the 20 foot tall, and how big? We have it in our notes here. 305 feet tall.
Lady Liberty is 305 feet tall. So that's really cool. And it's
going to be everywhere on Instagram. People are going to be taking photos of this thing everywhere.
Totally. I can't even just wait for how many clowns with their berets are going to go take a French picture and they're going to have a baguette and something stupid on the internet. Just listen, DC influencers, don't mess it up. Okay. Be cool, DC influencers.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Also, fireworks are coming to the National Mall. I'm so excited about this. Ow, I'm so excited I just hit my arm on something. This is really big news. So today, NBC Washington is reporting through the AP that there will be a celebration at the White House on the South Lawn for first responders and for military and for people who were fighting the pandemic, as usually happens. Doesn't matter with the administration, at the White House on the South Lawn on the 4th of July. But in that article from the AP, they're talking about how 4th of July is supposed to be the new phase of our pandemic response, and we may just be a little shy of the 70% people getting their first shot line. By the way, if you haven't gotten your first shot, get your first shot. And in that article, they say that there will be fireworks on the National Mall this year, which is awesome because it was a big question mark. And then Mayor Bowser tweeted about how America should come to celebrate the 4th of July in DC, and a link to book your hotel rooms and stuff. I think if all 300 million Americans come to DC, it's going to get a little crowded, but it'd be cool if we got at least a percentage of that to DC.
That would be really cool. And I do wonder too, how the hotels too have just been while we're waiting to open, and now they're okay, we're open. Dust off all the rooms, get everyone, in house, and get ready to welcome all the tourists to DC. But the thing is, we know how to do it. Mm-hmm. We've been doing this. It will be great to welcome tourists back into DC, and as us as locals, we can't complain this year.
No,
we're gonna give tourists a pass.
It's all part of the hot vax summer.
That's right.
I ran into a friend of ours so my husband and I went to brunch at Hamilton by the Old Abbot by the White House over the weekend, and I ran into a friend of ours who had a guest in town, and he's like, "Oh, meet my friend. She's in town from Chicago." Involuntarily, Kelly, it just came out of my face. I was like, "Thank you so much for coming to our city. We're so glad that you're here. Would you like to know of any recommendations?" And I'm so happy that you came to say thank you for coming to DC and being a tourist. And I was like, what is happening? It just it was involuntary gratitude for tourists who are coming back to DC.
I hear you. And that means you can't honk the horn when you see that out of state plate driving down Independence or Constitution or Rock Creek Parkway when they just inch along. Mm-hmm. Just let it happen.
Although, have you noticed this? People are very horny on the streets these days with the beeping when the light changes and it's a second. I got horned 4 times yesterday, and I'm like, it just turned. I'm switching my foot from the brake to the gas, people.
Yeah, I saw this guy on Wisconsin Avenue yesterday. He had a megaphone out of his car. I don't know, and it was telling people get out of the way. And it was not a police officer. Yeah. He was just like, he's like, you're going below the speed limit. Please move to the right lane. And I was like, dude, you need to calm down.
He had he hung his head out the window with a megaphone.
No, it was like inside his car. Like I didn't see a megaphone, but it was like a speaker that was like outside that you could hear outside of his car.
There is no way that's legal.
No, and that's what he was doing. I was like, dude, you got to calm down.
What kind of car was it?
Like a Honda Accord.
Imagine being so annoyed with drivers that you're like, I need to go to Pep Boys or AutoZone. And excuse me, can you put a speaker in my car? Why? Oh, because I want to yell at pedestrians. And then they're like, sure, sounds great. And they add the little speaker into your car. I wonder if it's like a Bluetooth thing or if he has like a microphone that like is mounted by and he's got his hands on the wheel and he has to push the on microphone button.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
People, be careful, people out there. But we do love seeing the tourists come back to DC. Just
true that.
We'll have a lot of patience for them.
Dear tourists, be careful of the Honda Accord microphone guy. Wow. Speaking of, DC is celebrating the reopening, and we are super happy to be a partner with the Restaurant Association Metro Washington. They've got their Shop, Eat, Play, Stay giveaway, where basically they're giving away 51 prizes, cash prizes, for you to use to support DC businesses. And so it's everything from a $25,000 grand prize to plan your next big life moment, birthday, anniversary, wedding, whatever, in DC. They're giving away 5 of those grand prizes and then 46 other prizes that are like 10 grand, 5 grand, 3 grand to just support DC businesses in the eat, play, stay, shop space, which I think is just so cool.
It is really cool. And especially with the fireworks coming up, booking that roof deck.
Right.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Totally. I didn't even think about that. Yes, that would be amazing. So there you go. You can put your $25,000 grand prize to get a roof deck.
Yeah, we got the details of how to enter. If you look at the top of our page, realfunddc.com, that will take you to the site that you can enter, and it goes through the end of June. So get involved, people.
Yeah, they're doing giveaways every Monday. So if you click at realfunddc.com and get registered, you probably have pretty great odds to get involved because they're doing 51 of these prizes.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, another celebrity that we can call our own. If you've seen The Heights, Benny, the character that's Benny, is from DC. His name is Corey Hawkins. He went to Duke Ellington School of Arts. You know, there's many alums that come out of there, especially known as Dave Chappelle. And the Washingtonian did an article about him. And this is really cool how he got his, I mean, was on Broadway. He's a very good actor and was Tony nominated. But Lin-Manuel Miranda first came aware of him. Of course, Lin-Manuel is our boy who wrote the script for The Heights. And he was at the US Open in 2017, and Hawkins filled in for someone who had fallen sick to sing God Bless America.
No.
And Lin-Manuel was there. And then that's how the relationship goes. So it just another example that sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Right? You're in the right place at the right time. And this guy, of course, was already doing really well, was on Broadway, but like Lin-Manuel's like, hey, you. So there you go. He's from DC.
That's really cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And I haven't seen The Heights yet. It's on my list, but I can't wait.
And also imagine like being the person when they're like, hey, is there a singer in the building at the US Open? Right. And then you get to do that. And you're like, this is awesome. And then afterwards, someone's like, oh, by the way, Lin-Manuel Miranda's here, wants to talk to you. What a wild thing.
Yeah. Very cool.
That is awesome. I haven't seen Into the Heights yet. But I can't wait to watch it. It's on my like queue to watch at home.
For sure.
But I've also seen people posting that you need to see it in the theater. So I don't know what to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're going out to bars, what's the difference of going to a theater?
That's true. You can, on some theaters have bars. So that's, look at that.
Do both of them.
It's the best of both worlds. And it's not like you have to wait in a line for 2 hours and not get into the bar. I'm just saying is all.
There you
go. Speaking of the restaurants reopening and everything coming back, we are really, really, really excited Carmine's, one of our favorite spots on the planet, the family-style Italian restaurant in Penn Quarter, is finally reopening. They are so big that they weren't really able to do takeout. There was no outdoor seating. They've just been dark for the last 16 months. And that stretch of Penn Quarter by Capital One Arena has been really quiet because there's not people coming down as much for games and for events and for all the things. So the restaurants on that strip really, really, really suffered. And what's cool about Carmine's is they're taking lemons and making limoncello, and they want you to help them reopen. So we've got 6 tables of 4 into their soft reopening, into their friends and family. So basically, you get to be some of the first guests back into the restaurant as they're testing out, training out the new staff and giving people, their first run back at it. They're moving the kitchens again, all of that stuff. So really, you, by winning this dinner, are being very helpful to the restaurant. And we're super cool. We're super excited to be able to offer up such a cool prize and experience to our family. And so we've got reservations for next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Yeah, so get your peeps together. How you can enter is you just open up the Real Fun DC app. You'll see it right when you open it up. Mm-hmm. Just enter your email address, and we are going to pick some winners at the end of the week. We're going to have it go until Friday. And you know what? Carmine's for us is it's the OG of Tommy and Kelly. We've had events there from the World Series parade, the Stanley Cup Championship parade. We've done things on inauguration there. We had a Can't Be Kelly prize for those who have been with us for a long time that we did giveaways at Carmine. So this is our place, and we really want to help them and support them as they reopen, not just for the restaurant, but for the staff. To get trained and get back into the groove as they reopen after a very long time of closed.
Yeah, so open up the Real Fun DC app. If you don't have the Real Fun DC app in the Apple App Store, in Google Play, just search Real Fun DC. That's our broadcast app. That's where we have a whole broadcast channel with other shows, with our show, with music. Think of it as a radio station, but you can go to the Real Fun DC app and get that. And right when you open it up, it will say, do you want to enter? And then you say, yes. It's that simple. So open up the Real Fun DC app for your chance to win that. And welcome back to Carmine's. Much love to them. And thanks for being a longtime partner of ours, too, which is really cool. That contest ends up on Friday. And while you're on the Real Fun DC app, I can't imagine why you wouldn't want to listen to all of our past shows. You can do that there, too.
Yeah, check it out. We're so happy to be talking about reopening and all the things. What a great time to be living in DC and just loving on the city as it works through its reopening. There's going to be some issues. There's going to be Honda Accords with microphones. But we got this.
And if you want to support our work on the podcast, 5-star review would be great. And hit the subscribe button because apparently that's important in the podcast universe.
We'll see you next time.